Behind me are two of the most adventure-ready V-Stroms ever made, the mid-size 800DE and Suzuki's flagship big adventure bike, the 1050DE. But which one is best, making it most worthy of your hard-earned cash?
Well, to find out, we've gathered here in the shadow of the Severn Bridge, ahead of a 2-day journey across the length of Wales on a route we've called the Spine of the Dragon.
Now, our aim is to get as remote as possible while sticking mainly to the tarmac on an adventure that you can squeeze into a weekend, making it perfect for those of us who are short on time but itching to get out and explore on our bikes.
That's right, and along the way, we'll ride the highest road in Wales, cross the Cambrian mountains, and visit pristine dark sky reserves that are among the best places on Earth to go stargazing.
So, to decide who rides which bike, well, we thought we'd simply toss a coin. I have a 10p piece in my pocket. So Bill, how about heads, you ride the 800, tails, you ride the 1050.
Sounds fair?
You ready? Okay. It's heads.
All right, let's get going.
Guarantee you right now, Bill's talking into his helmet saying, "Oh mate, I'm so pleased I got the 800DE.
Oh mate, I'm so glad I've got the 800DE.
Well, on this occasion, I reckon he's wrong because bigger is better.
He might think that bigger is better, but I think he's overcompensating. I'm going to prove to him that it's not about size, it's about how you use it.
It's more powerful, it's more spacious. I reckon it's got the most commanding riding position in adventure biking.
It's lighter, it's more agile. In short, it's perfect for the weekend ahead of us.
So we're now on top of the Gospel Pass, which is, mate, it's absolutely epic, isn't it? What a
It's
beautiful
about a
spot.
Force 9 gale, but that doesn't detract from the beauty of the landscape.
I'm looking on the bright side, but we got a coffee, we've got an incredible view, and I don't know, it already feels like we've got a little bit remote, doesn't it, on this trip?
Yeah, I mean, we got lost on the way here, so.
I don't really know how we got lost because there was only one road, but yeah, there's a narrow little country lane, brings us up to this, and then, wow, the road opens up and you've got Wales stretching out in front of you. It's, yeah, it's a beautiful spot.
Yeah.
And like moments like this, for me, are what touring by bike's all about.
Absolutely.
I've got a warm coffee, pretty chilly wind, and some rain clouds coming this way.
There's a big grey bar just approaching pretty rapidly, but hey, you know.
We've got two cracking bikes, and we've got a winding
time.
road stretching over there. So we better drink up and keep on riding.
Let's do it.
After descending the Gospel Pass, we rode north, leaving the Brecon Beacons behind to cut across country through mid-Wales. The roads were stunning, the landscape was vast and, for the most part, devoid of traffic.
It wasn't long before we reached the Elan Valley, 70 square miles of reservoirs, dams and rugged landscape in the heart of the Cambrian mountains. And while it's a popular spot for walkers, cyclists and of course bikers, the rain seemed to be keeping them away, meaning we had it all to ourselves.
Bilbo, you're from Australia. One of my aims today is to show you that the UK has epic scenery. Perhaps not quite on the scale of Australia, but come on, it's pretty impressive.
I mean, I've seen some pretty nice dams in my time, but
He likes a good dam.
this is up there. Very impressive. Nice slope to it.
So this is the Claren Reservoir
Yeah.
in the Elan Valley. We've just ridden some awesome roads coming up here. On these two wonderful V-Stroms. In front of us, the 800 and the 1050.
How you find it 1050 so far, James?
Mate, it's been, do you know what? It's been a joy because we've ridden, what have we ridden? Some pretty twisty roads. We've done a little bit of fast flowing stuff. The engine is just peachy. That V-twin 1050 makes about 105 brake horsepower. All the power you need. It's nice and upright and comfortable. And I'm really enjoying the Dunlop Meridian tyres. They've just been, even in these slippery conditions, just sticking to the tarmac really, really well. What about the 800?
Mate, you know I'm a big fan of it, always have been. but I've not been able to quite keep up with you on those
Well,
faster
that's
roads.
nothing unusual there, come on.
Well, there we go. But I think what might happen now is I'm going to prove you wrong, and I'm going to show you why the 800 is the better bike.
Slightly worried because, yeah, behind us we have the start of the Claren Reservoir green lane, which is one of my favourite green lanes in the UK.
I've never ridden it.
First time you've done it.
Yep.
It stretches around the reservoir. It's a really, really nice byway to ride. Slightly worried because these Dunlop Meridians that have been so sticky on the tarmac aren't really suited for riding any sort of rugged terrain. Also, I think, but they might prove me wrong. They might be just as good off the road as they are on it. And the 1050, it's a big old bike. It's proved pretty nimble so far, so well, let's go and check it out, see if I can keep up with you.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do it.
Well, that was bloody awesome, mate.
What an awesome lane, hey?
That was great.
And it feels like proper remote, doesn't it?
You feel like you're in the middle of nowhere.
It is. Not a car in sight. There was, what, a jogger?
One jogger, yeah.
That was about it. It is a cracking green lane, but I have to admit, I was a little bit concerned when we started, because this is a big bike. I've got a lot of weight on the back, and I'm on these Dunlop Meridian tyres, which have been brilliantly sticky on the road all morning. They were all right. They were pretty damn good.
Yeah.
The bike overcame it, really.
Yeah, I could tell you started off pretty ginger, but by the end, you know, you were hooning right up with me.
Mate,
which of course, you
I'm
know,
always ginger,
eating my dust.
It's really good, but I'm not going to lie. I was pretty jealous of you on that thing with those tyres.
Yeah, I mean, these Trailmax raids, I've used them before on the 800D, and they're brilliant. There's traction everywhere, and just, you know, this bike's lighter, a bit more agile. I just love it off-road. It's great fun.
A cracking mid-sized bike, isn't it? But I'm impressed by the big 1050. It feels nice when you're up on the pegs and going. And yeah, it just feels great to do a bit of green laning, doesn't it?
It is good.
Really good fun.
It's always good.
But we've got some more miles to cover.
I think there's a pub waiting soon as well, eh?
I think there's a pint with my name on it waiting for us. But we've got some cracking riding to do first. So
win-win.
Let's hit the road, come on.
The next couple of hours saw us exploring mid-Wales on some of the best roads the UK has to offer as we continued our journey northwards. It was one of those days you hope never ends. Great roads, brilliant bikes, and a mate to share it with.
Mate, what a day it's been.
What a great day.
We've pulled up here at the Georgeborough Hotel and pub, thankfully. Yep. We're having a little celebratory nip of whiskey. And yeah, halfway through the spine of the Dragon Tour. We haven't seen any dragons though.
No, but appropriately, we're in mid-Wales, Midway Park. And yeah, today was awesome. Tomorrow should be even better.
I think my favourite part of today has got to be cruising through the Elan Valley. Like, what a beautiful spot. You got the Claren Reservoir with the green lane, which was fun. But geez, even the road leading here after the valley onto the mountain road. It's just incredible riding.
I mean, we wanted to get remote, and I felt it.
We've got pretty remote today, and what a cracking pair of bikes to be on as well. I think it's time, get some food, get a pint, maybe another nip of whiskey.
Sounds good to me.
And yeah, get our heads down, see what tomorrow brings.
We woke up the next morning to blazing sunshine, which meant that despite sinking a few beers the night before, we were ready to ride bright and early. And just a few miles down the road, James reckoned he had a surprise in store for me.
So Bill, I know you Aussies bang on about Ayers Rock, Uluru. You tell the world it's the greatest rock formation on earth. You've got to see it. In Wales, I reckon we can go one better. Are you ready?
What you got for me, mate?
Let me introduce you to Elvis Rock.
Oh
It's all right.
Feeling distinctly underwhelmed by Elvis Rock, we struck out deeper into Wales, taking the path less travelled. I admit I couldn't quite believe how beautiful the landscape became. Snaking lanes, gravel roads and awe-inspiring scenery became the norm.
Our aim all along on this journey was to get as remote as we could on the tarmac. And we achieved just that as we carved our way along valley sides, through dense forests and over the roof of Wales. Exploring by motorcycle in the UK doesn't get much better.
So Bill and I were just riding up this valley and I just heard a noise, absolutely crap myself in the saddle. And it was a fighter jet flying overhead. We've come up this valley, there's groups of people dotted around, all waiting to spot fighter planes. I've got to admit, the atmosphere's pretty exciting. There's lots of people kind of dotted up on the side of the valley as well, I guess, looking down, see if they can see the jets below them.
Yeah. And I think this road behind us could aptly be described as the highway to the danger zone.
The highway to the danger zone, that's pretty good. I think it's already called the Mach Loop, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been here about half an hour.
Half an hour.
And I have to admit my initial excitement has waned a little bit.
Us bikers have pretty short attention spans.
That's it. It is a beautiful spot. We've basked in the sunshine. We've sung a few songs. We've nearly been hit by 3 or 4 caravans. But as yet, no fighter jets.
No.
And I would love to see one, but we've also got a fair bit of riding to do.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we call it.
I think we get more thrills on the bike than standing watching the sheep.
That is
down the valley.
Wonderful way to put it. So as soon as we put our helmets on, ride off, a fighter jet is just gonna whoosh down the valley, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
But hey,
Such is life.
that's it. You can't have everything. You can't have everything. We've got 2 V-Stroms, it's enough for me.
I'm satisfied.
And just as James had predicted, a few minutes after we'd ridden off, 2 jets came screaming overhead. But luckily for us, our cameraman, Gary, had a little more patience and managed to capture the moment just as he was packing up, sharing the news when he caught up with us.
Oh yeah! Oh man, that looks epic.
You bloody did it.
Oh man, oh they look so cool.
That's great.
Oh, lady got to see him. So one of these hills, mountains, is Dinas Emrys, where legend has it there was a castle whose foundations kept falling down. Merlin the magician was called in and he discovered a white dragon and a red dragon. Let them loose, they fought and the red dragon won, which is why there's a red dragon on the Welsh flag. Also, I think.
Well, there we go. I don't know. I'm not a folklorist,
Are you not?
but it's a good story.
It's a good story. It's a story we can't check because we've got no signal on the phone. I'm doubting its historical accuracy already, to be honest with you.
Well, there has to be a reason there's a dragon, eh?
That's it.
That'll
Yeah,
do.
yeah. And it's one of these hills, but we're not exactly sure which one. And there is a hiking path you can take to it, but it's 1.5 hours. And as comfy as these Daytona boots are, I don't really fancy doing it
Me
at the end of
neither.
a long day's
Me
ride.
neither.
So, but hey, it's a good yarn.
And I've come prepared,
You come prepared.
so we can get our own slice of dragon action.
Can we?
Yes, we can.
What have you got? Oh, mate. Awesome.
go.
Awesome. Stickers for the bikes.
Celebrate the spine of the dragon. Slap it on these bad
Let's
boys.
do it. Let's do it. Come on.
Look at that.
Spine of the Dragon route almost done. There you go. I'm not Welsh, but I love Wales. And yeah, a sign that we've done, almost done, the Spine of the Dragon route, but we've got one more stop because this route has been from sea at Chepstow under the Severn Bridge to the summit of the highest point in Wales, Snowdon, which is about 10, 15 minutes down the road. So let's get going and
Yeah.
finally finish this cracking route. So we're here. We're almost here. We've arrived at Snowdon, my favourite road in the UK, Penny Pass. It's pretty spectacular, isn't it?
It is just awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But a lot of other people think it's spectacular too, and we're sharing it with a lot of people. Probably you can see from the cars lined up around our bikes. So we tried to park at the top in the shadow of Snowdon to finish this video, but the car park's pre-booking only and it is rammed, but we found a little spot by the river. We've got a coffee.
Yeah.
And what a trip it's been.
It's been a great 2 days. Proper adventuring.
I think it's been one of the best UK routes we've done for ABR.
I'd say so, yeah. And places I've never been before. I've spent a lot of time in Wales, but
that is a joy of this route.
I've never ridden.
We've ridden a lot of this country and have seen some new bits, which is awesome. But I guess we've also got to sum up these bikes, because we asked the question at the beginning, which V-Strom is best? And I think, caveating that, I think it's which V-Strom is best for the type of 2-day tour we've done today. Mountains, valleys, natural little roads, fast sweeping bends, a little bit of everything really, and the odd green lane or two thrown in. So after a couple of days on this 800 DE, what are you thinking?
Well, I've got some pretty strong opinions about that bike.
Yeah.
Because I really like it.
Yeah,
I think it is a genuine do-it-all weapon. It's great fun. And it is one of those bikes where you can take it on a green lane, have a lot of fun, it's super capable, and then you can carve up a mountain road, and then you can spend, 6 hours in pretty good comfort on the motorway on the way back home. So for me, I think that would be my choice for the weekend. What do you think?
I think you're wrong. But you're entitled to your opinion. Well, you mentioned about we've got probably a 4-hour ride home on the motorway, and even though we haven't done much of that, we haven't done any motorway on this journey, I'm going to include it in my roundup, because this 1050 DE with its larger screen, more room, more upright riding position and greater power will be fantastic on that cruise home when I'm feeling pretty knackered and just looking forward to some dinner and bed.
That's fair enough. I mean, if we were going to the Swiss Alps, I'd take the 1050. But for the weekend, for me...
For the weekend, that 1050 is a cracking bike, but it is a big bike. It is a tall bike. And you've got to have a bit of confidence hustling it around through some of the narrower, smaller roads and lanes that we've been on over the past couple of days. If you do have the confidence, or you are a taller rider, you'll have no problems with it. If you are a shorter rider, perhaps the 800 might be for you. I can see your point. I do like the 800. I've spent a bit of time on it in the past. I really enjoy it. But I went with the big bike to begin with. Bigger is better in my book, and I'm 1050 in all the way.
Yeah. So, one thing we haven't mentioned yet is the value for money that the two V-Stroms represent. Because you do get a hell of a lot of bike for the money.
Yeah, well, the 1050 DE is £13,999 on the road.
Mine's 10,999 for the 800 DE, which is a pretty cracking price for the bike.
Well, so you get a lot of bike for a fair wedge of cash, but compared to the competition, they're less expensive. And at the moment, Suzuki are doing free luggage on every V-Strom bought until I think the autumn. So it's not the top box, but the 2 side cases, which represents a really good saving.
It's
on
awesome.
Top of the fact, those bikes, they are damn good value for money.
Yeah.
I've had
conclusion.
a cracking time. I really have.
I
It's
have
been
too.
such a good couple of days. I'm really pleased to be able to show you some of Wales that you haven't seen before, including Elvis Rock.
Yeah. That was a highlight.
Which was cracking. So I guess all we've got to do now is finish our coffee, soak up this incredible part of the world, try and ignore the traffic, let these good people pass who are waiting to get through the gap in the wall.
Very patiently.
And say thanks for watching. Please do like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Cheerio.